Good evening, good people. I'm back. I was here. I was on earlier, and I reported some things, but since then, there's been a lot of other news that I see that I did not cover about the death of Hassan Nasrallah. So yeah, he has been declared dead. I guess, they discovered his body in the rubble of the 400 people, and from what I've learned, his second in command is also dead. So all the top brass in Hezbollah, all down the food chain of command or whatever, they're all dead except one person. And I believe that that person is probably dead too. They just probably haven't pulled his body out the rubble yet. So, yeah. Um, let's see. President Biden, he commented on the death of Nasrallah. He said, quote unquote, Nasrallah's death is a measure of justice for his victims, but he still calls for the de-escalation of the war. This war is not going to de-escalate. I'm sorry, President Biden. It's not you and Starmer and everybody else wanting de-escalation. That's a pipe dream now, because that's not going to happen. This war is going to happen because it is biblical prophecy being fulfilled. Okay, it's not going to happen. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna make this flow, and let me stay on subject. So yeah, we got that. Also, yeah. Um, Nasrallah's daughter. They said Nasrallah's daughter was also killed in the attacks in Beirut, and they said his son-in-law, but I don't think it's been officially confirmed. It may have, but they're saying the son-in-law and the daughter are dead. So I'm waiting on the official report to come out. But yeah, that's crazy. Um, Russia bombed a hospital in Ukraine, killed 8 people. And I think they said this is the second time they've hit that hospital. Um, yeah, it says 8 people have been killed in Sumy, or is it Sumai, Ukraine, from a Russian drone attack at the hospital. This is the second attack on the hospital in a week. So they bombed it last Saturday. The first one killed one person. And then this last one killed 7 people. And this last attack occurred while patients and staff were evacuating. So 11 people were also injured. One person filmed a video from his phone. He was a volunteer, um, just helping out, at the scene of, the whole aftermath. He was there, and he was just kind of, out helping out there. And he filmed on his phone, and he told the people on Facebook. He said that there were people lying dead in the street. So see, they're hitting civilians. And, they're not just striking soldiers, they're hitting civilians. And the thing about it is, they're hitting the most weakest, vulnerable civilians of all. They're hitting women, kids, the sickly, and the elderly. They're not hitting soldiers. They're hitting people, just regular people, just bombing hospitals and schools and places like that. So that's just wrong, man. That's wrong. Um, Also, there's currently a manhunt underway in South Africa in search of a shooter or shooters who killed 17 people. 15 of them were women. So there's a video released by the police that showed that the shooting happened at 2 houses in the same neighborhood on the outskirts of Lusakishi. What's it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Lukasiki in southeastern South Africa. There were 12 women and a man killed in one house, and 3 women and a man killed in the other house. However, 4 women, one man, and a 2-month-old baby did survive. So, yeah. The people were attending a family gathering at the time of the shooting, but the motives for the killings are unclear because they don't know who killed. They don't know who the shooters are, and I guess, yeah, the people are not giving the police much to go by. But hopefully they find these people. But yeah, these demons need to be caught before somebody else get hurt or killed. So mass shootings, according to the reports, mass shootings have become more common in that country, in South Africa. People are often targeted in their homes. In April 2023, 10 family members, including 7 women and a 13-year-old boy, were murdered. And this was another mass shooting at a home in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, although South Africa has strict gun laws, they said a lot of the firearms are being sold via the black market. So that's a problem in South Africa. Um, yeah, man, it's just so much wickedness, just senseless killings. They said they just shooting people randomly in their homes. Ugh. Mm. Let's see, what else do we have here? A crocodile farmer in Thailand said that he was compelled to kill over 100 endangered crocodiles on his farm to prevent them from escaping out of their enclosure and into the community. Typhoon Yagi had damaged the enclosure some type of way, and I guess there was a way for the crocodiles to get out. And so the farmer, he couldn't find a big enough enclosure to house the crocodiles, because my understanding is that these are Siamese crocodiles that grow very large. They said like 13 feet. So these were very large crocodiles that he just did not want to escape, and he wanted to protect his neighbors. So he ended up putting the crocodiles down by electrocuting them. Now, keep in mind that crocodile farming in Thailand is very lucrative. And so this man lost a lot of money by putting those crocodiles down. But if he could find an enclosure for them, they was going to get away anyway. So, but he said he didn't want them to get out and escape out of the enclosure because it was damaged because of the typhoon. And if those crocodiles get out to the community, they will, that posed a significant safety risk to the public. So yeah, he just went on ahead and just killed him. Yeah, that was a very selfless, brave thing to do. So his farm, he's a 37-year-old farmer, and his farm had been open for 17 years. And what the farm supplies is crocodile skins to leather factories and frozen meat in Thailand, and he also exports dried meat to Hong Kong. So he still has over 500 baby crocodiles remaining on his farm, but God bless this man. So, yeah, these typhoons and hurricanes are really costing people everything that they have. So, luckily, this man did have some of his livestock remaining. I, I guess I never thought about calling crocodile livestock, but I guess they are. Hmm. Kamala Harris visited the U.S. Mexican border today. No, that was yesterday. She visited the border in Arizona. And as expected, she blamed Donald Trump and the Republicans for blocking a bill to strengthen border security. However, she did promise to toughen border laws and implement stricter asylum requirements. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, that the blame is on both sides. They some of those illegals got over here and crossed the borders illegally before President Biden and Vice President Harris took office. And they kept crossing over during Trump's administration too. It's just nothing has been done about it. These politicians are just they're they're derelict in their duties. So um yeah. New York City police busted a brothel in Queens. Um They said that the migrant crisis has exacerbated crimes in the city, as we all know and see in the news. But this has especially exacerbated the crime of prostitution in New York. So this particular brothel was fronting as a massage parlor, and we all know that what the massage parlors do, with the happy endings and everything. So we know what some of the massage parlors. We know you can get extra services in those massage parlors. So they busted this. So yeah, you know what that means too. They said with the migrant crisis, more migrant women are coming over, and they can't find jobs. They're not legal, so they resort to prostitution sometimes in order to get money. So you know what that means? That means the spread of more STDs because they're not going to the clinic and getting tested or checked or anything. So they're offering prostitution services with massages and with a side of chlamydia or herpes or something, possibly HIV. So they're spreading STDs pretty much. Yeah. Boy, this world, I tell you. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you. So, yeah. And there's some more good news. There's a picture been floating around on the internet, which is very real. It's not made up. It's not AI or anything. But there is a beautiful picture floating around on social media of a cross-shaped cloud hanging over Lebanon shortly after the fatal bombings, shortly after Israel severely attacked Lebanon. People captured footage of the sky in Lebanon of a cross-shaped cloud. And this was a real picture. And it was looked so beautiful. So you know what that means. Remember what I talked about yesterday, a harbinger. That cross-shaped cloud is a harbinger. And it's letting people know Jesus is on his way. And that crossing that cloud over Lebanon is letting him know that when he comes back this time around, he is coming back for war. And Benjamin Netanyahu said that his goal was to reunite the people to their homes in the north, another harbinger. When Jesus comes back this second time, he's coming back for war. And when he comes back, he is going to reunite with his people, the church, and return everybody, well, send everybody to heaven and, with him to live eternally. So this whole war is just nothing but another harbinger. It's a harbinger. Man, I tell you, he's just absolutely amazing. When you see that picture, you'll see he's absolutely amazing. And this is happening during the same weekend that we are supposed to see the Star of Jacob and the two moons, the mini moon is supposed to appear tomorrow. So if them are not harbingers, if y'all don't believe those are harbingers, I don't know what else to tell you, but man, that just shows you that God is absolutely amazing. He is just simply amazing. I mean, to imagine just you're living in Lebanon and you seeing all this destruction and devastation around you, and then you look up in the clouds and you see a cross-shaped cloud. Like, man, wow. Words can't describe how beautiful God is, but people better get with it. They better know. They better recognize God is so brilliant. That was another harbinger. And these things that we're seeing in the sky that's happening is another harbinger. God is truly amazing. But also, my final story for this video is that Elon Musk's SpaceX has sent a spacecraft Crew 9 Falcon spacecraft has launched up into outer space to bring back the two astronauts that is currently stranded in outer space right now. So good luck with that. I'm surprised the Falcon didn't explode upon when it launched, like the rest of them do. So yeah, they usually blow up at liftoff at SpaceX. So they better hope they make it back. Um, because they have no business up there in the first place. They have no business being up in outer space in the first place. None whatsoever. Uh, so yeah, good luck with that. And even coming back, you better hope the thing don't explode or malfunction, because them things are too unreliable. Those spacecrafts that SpaceX has been launching, they are just too unreliable. They're too faulty. So even if the spacecraft manages to lift off and launch into outer space, you're not safe until you get back, pretty much, and you touch ground, because that thing liable to explode at any given minute during the mission. So they were scheduled to come back in February, though. So that thing, is it going to take until February for it to get up there? Possibly. Is that why they're leaving so early, or are they trying to go get them early, or what? I guess I didn't research it enough to see how long it's going to take them to reach the people stranded. So they're stranded up there right now, but they better hope that they're able to get back safely. They mess around and explode in outer space. They ain't even gonna be able to recover their bodies. It's just gonna be they're out there in the universe. So yeah, um, they ain't got no business being up there. But you know what? God'll learn you, darn you. You're gonna listen and learn one day. So that's it, y'all. Be on the lookout for. We're looking for the star of Joseph. We're getting a second moon on Sunday. And look at this video that I have of the cross-shaped cloud in the sky in Lebanon. So until then, y'all, uh, we'll talk again. God bless everybody, and stay prayed up. And if you haven't been saved, you haven't been baptized, blood washed, and born again in the name of Jesus Christ, please do so before it's too late. We just don't want you to get left behind. We want to see everybody in heaven, y'all, and we need to just pray for each other, pray for ourselves, pray for our loved ones. Just stay prayed up in these end times, y'all. So be blessed, y'all, and just be safe. Until next time, peace. Just stop and watch the sky and look at things. As I don't know if my phone is picking this up, but I see colors in the sky. Right there and right there. It's not a rainbow. There's streaks of color in the sky. I don't know if this camera is getting it, but it sure is. I see it very faintly. And there's some over there too. Sometimes you have to stop and appreciate nature. See what the Lord had made. Man.
U.S. President Joe Biden issued a statement on the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, describing it as a measure of justice for his many victims. Biden reaffirmed the U.S.'s support for Israel's right to defend itself against Hezbollah, Hamas, and other Iran-backed groups, while also enhancing U.S. military defenses in the Middle East to prevent a broader regional war. The statement did not address the civilian casualties resulting from Israel's intensified bombing in Lebanon. The U.S. has consistently backed Israel diplomatically, vetoing multiple UN ceasefire proposals regarding Gaza. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin echoed Biden's stance, assuring Israel of U.S. support and stating that the U.S. is prepared to protect its forces and facilities in the region. Both Biden and Austin clarified that Israel did not notify the U.S. before launching the airstrike that killed Nasrallah. Hamas expressed condolences for Nasrallah's death, vowing continued resistance against Israel. Meanwhile, casualties in Gaza have surged to over 41,500, with more than 96,000 injured. In Israel, 1,139 have died since Hamas's attacks on October 7. Hezbollah confirmed the death of its leader, Sayed Hassan Nasrallah, following an Israeli airstrike in southern Beirut. The strike, which targeted a bunker beneath Hezbollah's main headquarters, also killed several prominent Hezbollah leaders, including Muhammad Ali Ismail, head of their missile unit. Nasrallah, who had led Hezbollah since 1992, was a founding member of the group. In the wake of escalating violence, over 50,000 people have fled to Syria, as reported by UN refugee chief Filippo Grandi. The total number of displaced individuals in Lebanon has reached 211,319, with significant displacement occurring since Israel intensified its airstrikes. Meanwhile, reports also emerged that Abbas Nilforushan, a deputy commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, was killed in Israeli airstrikes on Beirut, marking a significant loss for Iran's military leadership. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian condemned Nasrallah's assassination, asserting it would strengthen resistance against Israel, and linking the attack to U.S. involvement. Iran's supreme leader described the ongoing violence in Lebanon as indicative of Israel's short-sighted policies. As the conflict escalates, Israel has shifted its focus from Gaza to Lebanon, where heavy bombing has resulted in over 700 deaths, marking the deadliest week in Lebanon since the civil war. Hezbollah has vowed to continue its fight against Israel in support of Gaza and to defend Lebanon and its people. During the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif met U.S. President Joe Biden at a reception, marking their second meeting since Shahbaz became Prime Minister. They reaffirmed commitments to trade, investment, technology, and climate cooperation. Shahbaz also addressed Islamophobia, the Ukraine conflict, and Pakistan's peacekeeping efforts in Africa. His U.S. visit included discussions with world leaders like UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Meanwhile, in Rawalpindi, police blocked key roads to prevent PTI workers from protesting at Liaquat Bagh. The protest, initially planned as a rally, was redirected to the suburbs after the government imposed a ban on public gatherings. Heavy police and paramilitary forces enforced the ban, placing containers at strategic points and closing major roads. Lastly, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, a helicopter crash claimed 6 lives and injured 8 others near the Shewa oil field in North Waziristan. The helicopter, leased by Mari Petroleum Company Limited, crashed due to engine failure during an emergency landing. A rescue operation, supported by the Pakistan Army, is ongoing.
A Russian strike on a hospital in the Ukrainian border city of Sumy has killed 9 people and injured 12 others. The President Zelensky condemned Moscow for waging war on hospitals and has claimed the facility was targeted using the Iranian-made Shahed drones. The 3 drones targeted the regional capital, and at least 2 hit the hospital, Ukraine's Air Force is reported to have said. An hour later, the attack was followed by another round of strikes apparently targeting the rescue operations of the injured patients to maximize casualties. The strike damaged multiple floors of the building and shattered the windows, Ukraine's interior minister stated. The attack comes as Ukraine has been pressing its Western allies to allow its forces to use the long-range precision weapons to strike deep inside the Russian territory. Ukraine has said that Russia has damaged at least about 1,736 medical facilities since the inception of the war. In July, a Russian missile struck a Kiev Children's Hospital. Another maternity hospital was bombed in Mariupol in March, sending shockwaves worldwide. The Ukrainian police condemned the twin strikes as cynical. The images showed bodies of wounded lying on the pavement shortly after the attack on the 4th-story building, with its entrance being severely destroyed. The Sumy lies just across the border from Russia's Kursk region, where the Ukrainian forces launched a surprise offensive on the 6th of August. The incursion was aimed at creating a buffer zone inside Russia. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
17 people, including 15 women, were killed in 2 mass shootings in a rural town in South Africa, police confirmed on Saturday. Authorities are actively searching for the suspects responsible for the attacks. The victims include 15 women and 2 men, with 1 other person critically injured and receiving treatment in the hospital, according to officials. The shootings occurred on Friday night in Lusikisi, a town in South Africa's Eastern Cape province. According to police, the attacks took place at 2 homes in the same neighborhood, a rural area on the town's outskirts. At first house, 12 women and 1 man were killed, while 3 women and other man were killed at the second location. South Africa, known for its high homicide rates, has seen a rise in mass shootings in recent years.
If you think your job is tough, imagine being this Thai farmer who had to make an impossible decision. When Typhoon Yagi slammed into Thailand, it wasn't just homes and lives at risk. Nathapak Kumkad, a Thai crocodile farmer, faced a gut-wrenching choice: euthanize over 100 endangered Siamese crocodiles or risk them escaping into the community. These majestic creatures, some over 13 feet long, were in immediate danger after the storm damaged their enclosure. As walls threatened to collapse, Natapak acted to protect his neighbors, balancing safety against the heartbreaking loss of these critically endangered animals. This tragic event shines a light on the harsh realities of climate change, where extreme weather forces us to make impossible choices. The loss is not just economic, but a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of our planet's wildlife. Let's reflect on how we can prevent such tragedies in the future. Subscribe for more of such stories.
Tonight, Vice President Harris landing in Arizona for her first trip to the southern border in 3 years, but also facing new criticism from former President Trump after the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director sent a letter to lawmakers revealing more than 13,000 migrants previously convicted of homicide are currently free inside the U.S.
And I've been saying this from the beginning of the Harris-Biden disaster. What they've done to our country with this is inexcusable.
A source familiar with the data tells NBC News many entered the country prior to the Biden administration and that ICE lacks resources to find them. All of it after Trump earlier today met with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Great honor to have you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Trump calling it a great meeting.
I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. I think that we can work out something that's good for both sides.
Meanwhile, here in rural Cochise County, Arizona, a senior campaign official says Harris will propose tighter asylum restrictions than President Biden. There's been a record 10 million illegal border crossings since Harris and President Biden took office.
We do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed.
Still, crossings have dropped dramatically in recent months, and Harris is slamming Trump for killing a bipartisan border bill earlier this year. How frustrating was that for you?
Absolutely frustrating.
Harris supporter and former sheriff's deputy Danya Acosta voted for Trump in 2016, but now says he's relying on fear.
That's really sad that people are being used as pawns for political reasons.
This has been in your family for more than 100 years.
128.
Though rancher John Ladd says the Biden-Harris administration should never have ended Trump's restrictive border policies.
And Trump had it figured out.
Ladd took us to a border fence constructed during the Trump administration, showing us where smugglers have cut it repeatedly. He's skeptical of Harris's promise to secure the border.
That's baloney. That's an absolute lie. She doesn't care about the border.
While Harris is trailing Trump on immigration, she's polling better on the issue than President Biden. And her campaign believes a trip like this to a swing state like Arizona could be crucial. Lester?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Tonight, police say they have busted a brothel in Queens. Neighbors tell us they see sex workers walking in the streets in broad daylight. Well, now the NYPD is getting involved, and here is our Derek Walker.
And you know, police tell us that the migrant crisis has really made this problem so much worse. Here along busy Roosevelt Avenue, not only is there increased gang activity, but also migrant women from other countries desperate to find a job.
We say no more, and we're going to shut you down.
That's the promise from officers raiding this Roosevelt Avenue massage parlor.
According to the certificate of occupancy, this is supposed to be a restaurant. And if you look at it, it's listed as a foot massage place, and it's actually acting as a brothel.
The bust happening directly across the street from multiple schools, and Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenny says the influx of migrants is fueling the problem.
And with that, you see some gang activity, and in that gang activity is included in human trafficking. So that's why, as part of this operation, we have our human trafficking team here to assist with the Vice investigation.
Officers escorted out one sex worker, but she won't be charged.
We're going to offer her services.
However, this man was let out in handcuffs. A paying customer, police say. Neighboring business owners are thrilled.
We're not going to look so dirty. I feel like that makes the whole block look dirty.
Meanwhile, community activists tell me sporadic police raids are not enough. That's why they're planning a rally on Sunday to demand more enforcement.
We expect to come in more police officers in the neighborhood.
Roosevelt Avenue is divided into 3 different precincts. It should be one precinct so that there's real accountability.
And investigators tell us they're not just going after the Johns, they're also trying to go after the building owners and find out who's really behind these businesses. In Corona, Queens, Derek Waller, CBS News, New York.
The cross!